I was sitting there this morning. I was thinking about the concept of miracles. Uh, it's easy to think about the concept of miracles when you're like looking out at. Just come out to Eden Park in Cincinnati, Ohio, and just kind of spend some time with God in the morning and think about the day and kind of what's coming up. But I was thinking about the concept of miracles. I used to have the mindset that people who always talk about miracles, maybe you shouldn't put yourself in a position to always be the miracle. Right? And this is a very jaded mindset. I think because, so as I think about like what's a miracle and, what goes into it, what do we call it? We as human beings have our own logic and expectations of how things are going to happen, how things are supposed to happen based on, our own human minds, our tiny human minds. But God has his own plans. God has his own expectation. Jeremiah 29:11, one of my favorite scriptures says, "For I know the thoughts I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected ending." God has an expected ending. Not only an expected ending for your life, but an expected ending for every situation, an expected ending for every day, an expected ending for, every circumstance that we might be going through. And his expected ending has nothing to do with our human logic or human expectations. And so whenever, the way things are going seems like they should be a certain way, whenever God says, well, it's not lining up with the ending that I have, sometimes he needs to circumvent our logic. Sometimes things need to happen that defy what we thought should happen or even could happen. And then we say, oh, it's a miracle. But to God, it's not really a miracle. It's just, I didn't want it to happen that way. It was never going to happen that way. In the Bible, when Jesus did things like, feed 5,000 people with, small amounts of fish and bread, it's like people were always going to eat. I mean, it's not a miracle. Just because your human minds can't comprehend how food can be multiplied doesn't mean that I can't multiply things that don't seem like they should be multiplied. When he raised Lazarus from the dead, it's like, oh, Lazarus just wasn't supposed to die yet. He was never gonna die. It's not a miracle, it's just my plan. It's just my expected ending. I still have more for him. It's very encouraging to me this morning as, we all have different things, different circumstances going on, different days. And I'm somewhat of a control freak, to my detriment, I think, sometimes. But I always think I know exactly how a situation is going to turn out or a day is going to end. And I really think I'm doing God and myself a disservice and not making room for his expected ending. So today, my focus is understanding that God has a plan. His plan is perfect, and I'm just a part of it. His ending can be completely unexpected. So I'm just making room for that.